Welcome back, y'all, to another episode of Non-Corporate Girls. As usual, we are bringing you guys a super special show because today we have Monique Bivens, a licensed beauty expert, the owner of Brazilian Babes LLC, and an all-around trendsetter. Brazilian Babes is an upscale beauty boutique based in Harlem that specializes in Brazilian waxing. With over 15 years plus experience within the beauty industry, working with major makeup brands, and also really including managerial roles, which led to taking a leap of faith and investing in her esthetician license. Monique's story is one of inspiration and shows the world that hard work, dedication, and a positive outlook on life is the true remedy for success. As Monique's brand grows, she takes time to mentor her young peers and participates in several community service initiatives. And today we have the pleasure to chat with her.
Hey
Welcome, Monique.
guys, hey y'all. I'm happy to be here. Thanks for inviting me.
Absolutely. We're so happy to have you. So, the title of this episode is Below the Belt Beauty Trends, a discussion with founder Monique Bivens.
hmm
So, what we like to make sure that as we get into each episode, we're starting with the high because, the world can be really crazy. So, before
hmm
we jump in, we would love to know, Monique, what is your positive note of the week or the month?
Um, Positive note of the week or the month. That's so hard. Let me think. Live life to the fullest. It's very cliche, but you gotta live life to the fullest.
Have you
Especially
been living life to the fullest these last
I
couple
mean,
of days?
no, but I'm trying to go with that too,
Okay.
because you know how the world is now. Is so many things in our way or making things like feel harder than it has to be. So you just gotta just kind of go day by day. Unfortunately, there's so many like untimely deaths happening, and you just never know what's gonna happen. So you just gotta live your life to the fullest.
Wise words.
We go use the reminder.
Absolutely. All right. So there's so much that we need to know about you. So we're just going to jump in. Can you tell our community just a little bit about your background? And we know Delilah gave you an intro, but just share a little bit about your background and what really was the inspiration behind Brazilian Babes.
My background, I grew up in the hood. I always call my life one of those rapper lives. Like I always say, like when they rap about stuff they've been through, I've really been through that stuff. So I grew up in the 80s, my mom was on drugs, stuff like that. I think those things really helped me grow into being like, I won't say a hustler in a bad way, but like really to make things happen for myself. Um, yeah, so I grew up very hard. I grew up alone. I didn't have siblings. So, I grew up figuring things out for myself. And now we've been in business for almost 10 years. Um, and what really made me go forward with this was things just kept happening in this direction. I went to school for communications. I wanted to be a personality like you guys. I wanted to host shows. It's a passion of mine, so I love to talk. However, I kept getting into the beauty industry. Things just kept working out for me in the industry. And that I just could not get past that because that's where I was making money. That's where I was growing. And it was still allowing me to be the personality that I really wanted to be. So, Brazilian Babes, I literally kept quitting jobs so that I would not get stuck in the beauty industry. And I ended up saying, you know what? I can still do that and have a passion for that and still go to school and do what I want to do.
Mm-hmm.
And eventually, if things don't fall in line the way I planned, then at least I have something else that I'm good at or something that I'm passionate about, and I'll already be in a good place with it. So I ended up working for Sephora and I worked there for like 5 years. I was in skincare. Everything came to me naturally. I can just look at someone's skin and tell them exactly what to use. They will always come look for me. And I said, you know what? The girls in the back of, I was at the Times Square location. They were doing brows for Anastasia Brow Studio at Beverly Hills. And they had a location in Sephora. And I was like, how could I do that? And the girls were telling me, oh, you get an aesthetics license. And I was like, you know what? I could do that. That'll be my little hustle while I'm trying to get on the radio and stuff. And it just kept growing from there. I just kept getting hired to beauty places. I ended up getting hired by a large franchise, and it was their first location in New York City, and I worked there, and I became the trainer for Manhattan and Connecticut. So it kind of grew from there. The service was for brows. That was my thought. They had a lot of clients that came in for Brazilian waxes. I was really, really, really like, I have to get this Brazilian wax thing down because I couldn't do it at first. They were going to fire me. They were like, you just can't do a Brazilian. And I'm like,
Oh my
I was
gosh.
dreaming about it at home. Like, no, I have to be able to do this. At the time, I'm not thinking about it being someone's vagina and me putting wax on it, because now that's what people are like, how do you do this? But I was so invested in figuring out how to do this service that I didn't think of it to be weird or anything. So I ended up doing it, and I ended up being like really like sought out for it all the time. I've done so many celebs. They had a whole show about me on Z100. Like it just became a thing, you know. So when I was opening up Brazilian Babes, it was very intentional. It was like, I'm jumping out the window. If I'm gonna do this service and this is what I like, I need people to be clear on why they need me. What service am I selling here? And it was great to just say, oh, beauty boutique. I added that at the end just to make it more comfortable. But really, if I can do Brazilians all day, I'm like, what legs? You don't need legs. But yeah, I added the other services because people want it. They're like, I don't want to wax my. So I came up with Brazilian Babes because I wanted it to be very intentional about why they needed me for this service. So that's pretty much how we ended up here.
That's awesome. And because it kind of goes into our next question, because I feel like you did touch on if this was your purpose or not. And you sort of explained to us like how you landed here. But do you feel that your why has ever changed?
Um, no, because I feel like I still got to blend everything that I wanted. You know, studying to be a personality, doing radio shows, things like that when I was practicing or learning to be on the radio helped me with my clients. My clients look for me. It's a gift and a curse because I can't go nowhere else. But they are looking for me, and I give them a certain personality, a certain feeling, an energy here that works. And it's like I'm still hosting my own space. So it
I
works.
love that you said that. Sorry. I'm like, I feel like you talked a lot about like hustling, but also like your dedication and intensity behind everything that you're doing. Like, it sounds like life is like your school. You were like, I need to make sure I get this down. And now look, you're like one of the best, if not the best in this industry and what you're doing.
Thanks. Yeah, I actually should have made that my motivational statement, something of what you just said, because I do feel like, and I tell my clients this all the time, I do feel like everything is the whole setup with life is just a learning experience.
Hmm.
Every day we ask why we're going through certain things, and it's always just to figure out the next thing and the next thing. What would life be if we didn't have obstacles to make us get over and appreciate what we went through to get there? You know what I mean? So it is like a learning experience every day. So yeah, I definitely agree with that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, you want to say something, Delilah?
No, 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 no. I'm just taking it in because I feel like as we speak to our guests, it's very much for our listeners, but
Hmm.
you guys pour into us as well through these discussions. So sometimes I'm just like digesting it all. But
Girl,
going into like the standard of beauty, which we know has been very damaging to the
mhm,
confidence of Black and brown girls specifically,
Hmm.
how just the world holds us to this very cookie cutter standard that's usually unrealistic. What
right.
beauty stigmas are you trying to change in the industry, being that you have that power to do so?
Oh, what am I trying to change? That nothing is perfect.
Hmm.
I get a lot of clients that's like, does my vagina look weird? Is it like, and I'm like, guess what? I don't know what a vagina is supposed to look like. And everybody looks different. I don't know. But they think like, do you have a bleaching cream? Can you do this? Can you make it even? Can you? And I'm like, that's not really safe. So I don't really want to do that.
Right.
But you think that the things that you see most of the time online is what it's supposed to be. And a lot of the things are unrealistic,
Right.
and we all have hyperpigmentation, dark spots. We all have different discoloration in our skin. That's what it's about. Like that's the beauty of your skin, honestly. There's certain things that I just don't want to do because I just don't think that people understand that it's not supposed to look perfect like that, you know? So
Mhm.
yeah, so
So for you, it's just not pushing that
it's not pushing
story of
something that's not safe
perfection.
for you. Right. It's not something that, like, I see a lot of things online, and no shade to anyone, but sometimes I see women promoting like, oh, this is what this person's skin looked like before they use this, and this is what it looks like. And then I see that people go out and buy the cream or buy whatever, and
Hmm.
the person makes millions of dollars off of it, but it really is something that's not great for your skin. It's not, something that's not supposed, your skin, it won't look realistic. It'll either turn you orange if you don't properly take care of it. You need to use sunscreen. Like, you need proper instruction to keep it up, and all of those things is just not provided with that cookie cutter look. So it's just like, just be realistic. Just love yourself for what it is. We have so much other things going on. You don't need to add something so small to make yourself feel better about something that's like really not noticeable to anybody else.
Yeah. I mean, you already know though, like the type of society we live in. Like literally this is a constant everyday thing of people trying to look to see what they can make better about themselves. I love that it feels like you're like, I don't know how to phrase it. Like you're like the consultant of the moment. Like you are like, I am going to be this person for you and help you navigate what this is supposed to be so that
Right.
we're making sure that you're healthy, you're safe,
Yeah.
you're doing all the things. I'm curious, I mean, I'm sure you have, but like, can you share a moment or a time when, I guess a customer or client was opposed to, your recommendation for something that they really wanted, and how were you able to navigate that?
You know what? That's a great question because um I don't navigate it. Once you feel like this is for you or this isn't for you, then and I give you my opinion, and you're just going with, people already feel the way they're gonna feel.
Yeah.
It's this huge misconception of laser, and I'm licensed to do laser. I can get a laser machine, like, but really, I can't control what a laser machine can do. Laser machine is not good for everyone. It's a lot of things that people don't know about laser. And I would love to offer the service, but if I have to give you all of these disclaimers before you get the service, I don't really feel that comfortable. It's kind of like one
Yeah.
of those things that's like, okay, you get laser. If you're dark with dark hair, it won't see it. It won't take the hair off. If you're light with gray hair, red hair, if you have this thing going on or that thing going on, you can't shave in between. I'm like, whoa, whoa, whoa. First of all, that's already too much. And then
Yeah.
the investment of it costs so much, and people are like, they'll come in and they'll be like, I really want laser, but I'll do this, and I want to tell them so bad, like, but I'm already in my mind thinking, she wants laser. Just do it.
Hmm.
I literally will tell you, try it.
Yeah.
Come back and let me know. You know,
Right.
they say it don't hurt. It does. I had this one
It
woman that
does.
we would wax her lip just to lighten it because a laser burnt her across her lip. And
Oh
it's
Oh
like,
yikes!
no
no.
shade. It's great for some people. Some people, it
Hmm.
works perfectly for them.
Yeah.
Dark with dark hair, it might not work. I'm in Harlem. I'm in a community where there's more melanin in people's skin. It might not work that great. I'm just not going to sell you anything. I'm just not. But if you want it, listen, I'm here for you. Come back to me whenever you figure out how that worked out for you. And listen, teach me something. I want to know if it works great. What machine? What do they have? Do they have a training? I'm always open to know. I don't know
Right.
everything. So listen, I don't even go back and forth with the client. Once they say they want something, I'm like, listen, try it. This is how I feel. You go. And a lot of times, because of how connected me and the clients are usually, they come back and tell me, like, Mo, I left. I did this for a long time, but I was like, no, this didn't make sense. And I'm like, there you go.
Yeah. All right. I
Yeah,
like that.
you know?
So we did talk a little bit about like waxing and what does that look like. Are there any misconceptions that you can share that people have about waxing or just caring for their intimate areas? A
Yeah.
lot of people find it difficult. There's a
To
lot
still
of
speak about vaginas, and it's like,
yeah.
Mhm. Vaginas are very comfortable to me. And I
same
really
here.
look at it as it's just a job. You know, they walk in there like, don't look at my legs, I'm ashy. I'm thinking, girl, I wasn't even going to look at your legs. I'm
Like
really
nobody
looking to see
cares.
how much, like, I really am not looking at that. But yes, back to your question. They always think a different type of wax will give you a different result. So they'll say, "Do you have shit wax or chocolate wax?" Or, and I'll let them know. Sometimes they kind of look at me like, "Hmm." I'll be like, "That's marketing." Like it's,
Mm,
and let me tell you something. When you want to make somebody service feel better, no matter what wax you're using, you can make the service feel better. You find your technique that makes the service feel better. Because I have worked at a company where we all use the same exact wax. And people will be like, I'm never going back to her. I only want to go to her. I only want. It's really just the technique of it all. You can use a soft. I have people that say the soft wax to me is better than a hard. And I'm like, okay, that esthetician must have did a really great job. That's all. It's really technique. So that's what you should know. Like the different wax, it does make a little difference, but really not so much. It's really the esthetician.
it
Mhm,
is good to know because as obviously me and Delilah get waxed, and
mhm,
I know that in my I guess trajectory of getting
mhm,
waxed, I've definitely been to people where I'm like, I will never go back to her again, and I'm not doing this. And then you find your one person, but it's also like think about like your hair and your nails, right? You do like to go
mhm.
to your person, you feel comfortable with that person, but technique is a huge thing. It
Right,
really
acrylic is
matters.
acrylic. But then you find that one person that just use that acrylic the way you like it. It's like, you
Yes.
know what, this was thinner. She laid this thinner. She laid this. So it's all about that. All about
And it's
that.
also understanding the science behind it. Like if your hair is a little bit longer, it's gonna hurt more. There's like
Hmm.
different things to for yourself that you can do to try to lessen the pain.
Yeah,
So
for sure.
it's
Don't
educating
shave in
yourself.
between. Do
Don't
not
shave
shave
in
in
between.
between. That's
I
like the
know. That's
biggest
like the
thing.
number. I know. That's
One.
like the rule.
Rule number one, don't shave in between. But that's why here at Brazilian Babes, we offer touch up services. So between 2 weeks and 3 weeks, you can get a 2 week touch up or a 3 week touch up. So now you have no excuse. Fridays in the summer, we were staying open from 10 to 10. You have no excuse to go and shave.
Okay, so book those the
Mhm.
upkeep. Book the upkeep.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. So, what is your desire for each woman to feel and know about their body and their vaginal health as a whole?
That it's as important as everything else. You can't skip out on taking care of your vaginal area and put it last. You have to want that to be as cleaned up as everything else. I find it's really weird because um I find I had a hairstylist in here at one point, and most of his clients that spends hundreds of dollars on hair, they definitely have the money, they don't get waxed. But most of my clients that don't have that lifestyle get a wax. It's weird. It's almost like if I do this, I don't do this. But I want them to do both. I have to do both, you know? So yeah. It's definitely a specific clientele for each.
That's
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah.
It is because I'm like, I think of full body, right? Like everything needs to be
Yeah, my
together.
nails, my hair, my toes, like
Yeah.
it's
My
Yeah.
everything.
one doesn't get
I
compromised
think
of the
is more
other.
of a thing. Now my hair, my nails, my wax. Now I think it's more liberated. Like it's like,
Yeah.
okay, I get waxed. Before I think it was more of a like, oh,
Yeah,
like,
like a taboo thing.
yeah,
Like,
like,
mhm.
Like you're more sexual if you get it or something.
right.
I don't
It was
know.
this guy that walked past here. He was like, he opened the door. He was like, I'm so proud of you because when you first opened this, I was like, she is not gonna last. They don't want that up there. And I was like, wow, but I literally not love, but I appreciate hearing feedback like that because it makes me see like, wow, I made them like something that you wouldn't even think they would like. Like they've been liking it. It just wasn't in their reach.
Exactly. Yes. Oh my God. I love that you said that because a lot of people be feeling like, oh, I don't know, people don't know or they're not educated enough or whatever. But it's like you don't know what you don't know, right? And also, like to your point, you're creating environments. There's a lot of wax people out there, right? But there aren't a lot of wax people like you. There aren't a lot of wax people
Right.
who specialize in people of color. Like there's a lot of different things to be said about that. And so I think to your point, like people just weren't looking for it because they didn't think it existed.
Right. And it's like, oh, I'll go downtown for that. But it's like, no, you can come right here for that.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
I still get clients that are from the neighborhood. That's like, I've been walking past here for years and I never came in. And, earlier in my, when we first opened, I probably would be like, darn, like, what am I doing? But now I'm like, oh, good. That means there's still opportunity. There's still room to grow because I'm always like, oh,
100%.
in Harlem is such a cap. People are not really coming here like that. But really, I get about 3 to 4 new clients a day.
Wow, that's
Facts.
awesome.
So it says a lot.
Yeah.
It's like, wow, and most of the time they're consistent because they find a place and they're like, wow, I didn't think it would. We're a little bit underrated because we're in Harlem.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's like when I was working at a franchise and I was black. They would be like, she's doing my wax and I'm doing it. Now I'm gonna snatch you because now I want you to know, and
Like
I'm
I'm
gonna
the
make.
best of the best.
I want you to know. And literally, those same clients will leave me like a $60 tip.
Yeah. Oh
They're like,
my
I only want
goodness.
her.
Right, because it's the expectation and like what you're used
Mhm.
to seeing. But
Right,
going into our next question about disrupting, we
right.
think you're an all-in type of disruptor, people who shake shit up in the industry. Can you tell our listeners what is it about the work you're doing that's disruptive?
Oh, it's different, And I love all the ladies around in the neighborhood. However, nobody's doing waxing. Now they
Mm-hmm.
are starting to. But when I came here in 2014, it was all of our people, including other coaches that are like us, are doing nails and hair and lashes and eyebrows. And I'm like, Brazilians. I was the only salon in this neighborhood that was doing that. So that shook it up a lot. Like, well, what is she doing? And it was kind of a thing where I didn't let that make me feel like, well, am I doing something wrong? At some point I think I did was like, dang, I feel like kind of like an outcast. But now I'm like, I'm not. I'm just making it a full circle.
Yeah, and adding
I love
another
that.
service for people to come and enjoy and
Yeah,
find out about. There's another option, another way to do something.
right. So
But
yeah.
there's a lot of things that you're doing in this moment though. Like you being a disruptor, being in Harlem where you are, you're teaching people one that this is an essential that they can have. Like you
Mhm.
should want to care for your vagina, but also like I can provide you the space, the expertise to get it done. And also like this is a lifestyle, right? Like it's
Right,
not something that it's taboo, it's not something that's unattainable. You're literally in a community where
right.
people see this. Like, I mean, you're doing a lot of disruptive stuff.
And that's all of the things that I always feel like I want to touch. I always
Yeah.
want to touch on the educational part of it. I want people to know, because let me tell you, one thing about a client, they will stay with you is as long as you educate them on why things they build a trust within you when you teach them things.
Yeah.
So for me, it was all of that. It was all of that. So yeah, I'm glad you brought that up.
I'm
Good point.
like, who are you? I'm here for all of this.
For sure.
Uh, all right. So, can you share a story about the funniest mistake you've made when you were first starting, and what lesson did you learn from that?
I don't think it was so funny, but
Maybe it's funny now. It wasn't so
Right,
funny
like
back
looking
then.
back.
so I was working at this franchise and the client came in and she was so nervous that she kept telling me every time I get a wax, I get bumps and highs and everything like that. She was Caucasian. And I'm just like, all right, all right. So of course I'm trying to do a good job, but I was still kind of new. And when we got in the room, the same thing she said happened. And I'm thinking to
Oh my
myself,
god.
why? She broke out. She was red. It was horrible, like horrible. So as she left out there, she stormed out the room. She left out of the place. I was thinking, oh my God, I'm done. Like, this is so bad. When I finally got to calm down, I realized that the heat was on. And the heat and the hot wax made her more sensitive and it like
Oh
was
my
making
god.
her skin hot. And then she was nervous. And I'm like, oh my
Yeah,
God.
because it's like a rush. Like
Mm-hmm.
I've gotten waxed many, many times, and sometimes each time it'd be like the first time, and you get hot and like
It's
thing because
girl, I got two fans in there because I'm just not playing. So I literally was thinking it was me, but I allowed her to make me so nervous that I didn't take control of what was going on. And I felt like
Oh.
I messed up so bad. And I'm like, wow, she walked in anxious. It made me anxious because I was still so new. Now I would
hmm
be like, listen, it's either are you okay with me waxing you feeling like that? Because if you're not, don't do it,
right.
or it's me saying, girl, you good. Like, I'm not going to let nothing happen. You know, I'll even make a joke like, listen, if your lip come off, I'm leaving. Don't worry. like they joke, but that's never going to happen. You know, I'll even sometimes
hmm
say, like, I've been waxing for almost 15 years. Like, I'll just reassure them. But
hmm
before, girls, I was like, oh my God, this lady, I done tore her
Right, because
skin
it's
up.
so sensitive. You're like, did I break it?
Oh
Oh
my
my
God. Sometimes
gosh.
when they look, I say that, I'll be like, it's still there.
Oh
The boys
my
are,
god.
and they be like, I'm like,
Oh
I'm
my
yeah,
dead.
gosh. What a moment though. Cause like that's a lot happening in like a short amount of time.
girl, I was so stressed. I was like, oh my God, my life is over. I felt so
Oh
bad.
my god.
And I feel like even being as professional and as experienced as you are, like moments can happen because of the client, it
Yeah,
being their first time, and they just make things go left because it's just like,
girl.
they nervous, they panic, they suddenly make a move.
I'm so happy I'm past all of that. I'm so
Right.
happy that I'm in charge of the
Yeah.
Right.
energy in here. I
Okay.
literally do everything to make it comfortable here. Like we play Pandora, we play regular music. If you Google us, it'll say, "Oh, they play the best music." Like I'm into music. I wanted to do radio, and I literally always play all the new stuff that's out.
Yes, you do.
All
It's a vibe in there.
It's a whole vibe. I
a
hmm
know.
whole vibe. You know, for sure. That's what this is all about. I make sure my girls wear all black, but we do it kind of how Mac did it, where you can just be yourself and,
hmm
professionally just make sure you're not, doing too much. But yeah, I try to make the clients feel like that's my friend. Like she
hmm
understands. I'm approachable,
Yes.
and they really are my friends. A lot of them are. A lot of them are. So it works out, So I'm glad I'm past the place where I let someone walk in and dictate how I'm going to deal with this situation. Now I'm like, no, this is how it's happening. Y'all are good.
What
So,
a lesson though. Like, I mean, that's a lesson for the books.
Take
yes.
charge all the time.
Yes. Don't let nobody change your energy. You create the energy. And I train my girls that when they come in, I'm like, you're creating
hmm
an energy here. No
Right.
matter let me tell you, someone can be having this sounds so cliche, but it's for real. People come in, you don't know what they're going on and going through in their day, especially in New York City. They have to get on a train, they have to go through traffic. There's homeless people on the train, and you see everything everywhere in New York. You could
Yeah.
walk in, and if you have a good energy and you make them feel that great energy,
hmm
literally their whole conversation could change when they're talking to someone. They could be like, I was going through this, and this, and then I went and got a wax and blah blah. And they might not notice their tone change, but I'm happy that their tone got to change in that
Yeah, you
instinct.
turned their day around by the time they left the
Oh,
service.
for real. So it makes it cool. And they get to vent to me too. During the wax, you kind of talk about everything.
Yes,
I
it's
mean,
so
I feel
true.
like any beauty situation, they're your therapist. Like
Yes,
we're
It
yes,
turns
literally
into that.
purging.
yes, for sure.
All right. So, oh my God, like this has flown. I'm shocked.
Yeah.
But you've been so awesome. But we do have one last question before we get into some fun stuff. Do you
Okay.
have any advice for newer or aspiring founders as they look to begin their brand, like building their brands?
Um, yes, I have so much advice. I always love to give advice too because if I can help someone get past a certain situation and give them less to think about, then that's amazing. But so much is one is just jump into it. When you have a plan and you have an idea, jump into it. Nothing is ever going to feel perfect enough for you to get ready to get started. You want to
Right.
just jump into it. Another thing is um day by day, everything, something different is going to happen. Everything is a learning experience. This is like going to business school. The things that you don't really learn in school, you learn in real time. It's really about completing tasks. You need to get a license to do this, complete this application, do this, then you get this and you do the next thing, so everything will never be fully in place. And a lot of things can happen out of your like plans, so be ready for anything that can happen, from the smallest things to the biggest things. And just be professional. I feel like a lot of the new generation is coming up and they're business owners so soon, and it's cool that you have a following and that you want to run a business, but get that etiquette together. You got to know how to talk to people.
Tell them, Monique. Tell them.
We say it all the time. Learn how to write an email, learn how to approach
We
them.
doing it because we want the service. It's kind of like, oh, I know this hairstylist not gonna show up till an hour late, but we still gonna wait, and it's just not okay. Like, it's
Yeah.
just not okay. Like, sometimes I run behind. I'm human, but I'm very remorseful when it comes to stuff like that. I'm very much like, I will even give you a service for free sometimes, and you can't afford that sometimes, but you still want to show them that you know that their time mattered and you appreciate them. You can't just think, oh, well, this client. I heard a girl say one day, a young girl say, I'm giving them what they giving me. No, no, no. You don't do that. You
Wow.
it's things like that. It's like they're missing that part. A lot of people are opening businesses, not just young women, but a lot of people are just opening business nowadays because the money is available, and now we can actually do that. But they have to make sure that they can follow through professionally. And one piece of reputation that I always hear about myself from other women in the neighborhood, they always say, everyone always talks about how professional you are, Mo. Like, you don't play. I don't let you hang out in here. None of that. If we're gonna do that, it's women. We have wine or champagne, and the night is kind of slowing up, but it's never personal. It's always business. And people know that I'm about that. So yeah, just keep it professional. Like, get some business etiquette, take some classes, get some mentors. It's okay to learn. I've been in business for almost 10 years and I still want to learn. I look
Okay.
at even my younger people to tell me what's right now. How do I respond to this, or how do I get this out there? And they have a lot of knowledge, but they got to be open to getting the other part of things too. You want to kind of try to be as perfect as you could be. It's your business, it's your livelihood.
Yeah, that's
Agreed.
a two-way street. Oh my
Yeah.
goodness. That was you dropped so many gems. So like what I want to know is what is next for you in your business? Like are you writing a course? Are you having an academy? Are you what's the future?
Okay, so I have so many things planned, and that's another thing with business. With business, is you always have so many different avenues you want to go down, right?
Mhm.
But one thing I'm learning, and I think I'm getting there, is completing one thing and then going on to the next, right? And just not rushing through just to make it look better, because it won't look better if it's incomplete. You can have a
Right.
million things going on, but if you're not giving them all your best and you can't do everything at once, then you're kind of just falling short on everything. So I do have a lot of things that I have in mind, but I'm also trying to get them in order so that I can kind of follow through the best way possible. So I have it's a nonprofit I want to start. It's called Creative Blocks. And Creative Blocks is for creative business owners to help them get past that block that they're at when they have such great ideas and they just can't get to the next step. And I think that that'll be a platform for me to be able to help a lot of people and kind of mentor them to get going with whatever they have in mind. I do want to open up another salon. I touched with Atlanta for a little while. I'm not forcing Atlanta. I'll say that.
Okay.
I'm not forcing Atlanta. Atlanta has a lot of other things going on right now, politically incorrect. They got guns they're carrying around. It's a bunch of things that I'm just intimidated by with Atlanta. That I'm like, I have a 2-year-old. I can't just jump into that. It's a lot of things going on. So I can't talk about Atlanta yet because I don't really know. I have another salon I do want to open. I have another location that I'm thinking about opening by February. I will update you guys. And oh, I'm I just registered to have a beauty supply, but I want it to be overnight, or overnight beauty supply, because a
Oh
lot of
my
us,
God, that's awesome.
Yes,
right?
those last minute woes before
That
we
is
head
gonna
out.
be a game changer.
At 7:30, like, hold on. You know how many times
Yes.
I needed things in the night? Women, we have idle time in the night where we can color our hair or do
It's so
certain
true.
things. I'm like,
There's a
why is
market.
that happening?
Or
You know,
even on the way going to the club, going out and something we need a stitch
no, you
or
need some pins or whatever you need. It's nowhere to go. And it's like CVS definitely doesn't have what we need all the time. So I do want to do that. I definitely need a skincare line because it'll help Brazilian Babes grow as a brand.
Right.
Um, so yeah, those things. And I'm missing something. Oh, and I want to do, it's a lot of nighttime stuff I want to do. I really want to do nighttime nails where you can get your nail service done in the nighttime, but make it a very intimate situation so that a lot of men can feel comfortable going to get their pedicures and manicures and stuff like that, because I feel like they don't want to walk in a space with a bunch of women all down the road getting their feet
Mhm.
done. So yeah, and even that, I try to do my nails after a certain hour and it's like closing soon or Google. I'm
Mhm.
like,
oh, we're excited for all this
I'm
growth.
like,
This all sounds like
yes.
wonderful stuff. Like I want to
so
come.
yeah, so I'm trying to make
Yes.
all of those things happen at least by the end of next year. So
Okay.
some of the businesses are registered with New York State, and yeah, I just did my license for North Carolina because I'm thinking about opening out there Brazilian Babes, because I like the South. I really do.
Hmm. I could
Atlanta
definitely
was
see.
a house.
And
Yes.
there, I'm like, there's a market. So
Yeah. I'm thinking
yeah.
I'm looking at Charlotte, and I just put my license in for that. So I think I'm gonna go in that direction only because the winter in New York is crazy. So I'm trying
Brutal.
to
Mhm.
I'm trying to work a lot in the south in the winter and a lot in the summer in the north. So that's where I'm at with that. Yeah.
Oh my God, I love it. We're so excited for you. We can't wait. Like the growth is about to be exponential. Okay, so we want to know your hashtag obsessed with. Is there any one or thing or place that you're obsessed with right now?
Darn, I'm obsessed with so much. That's women, right?
Right. I love
Um,
it. We want to know.
I think I'm obsessed with well, I love a bag. I'm obsessed with bags. I love a good bag. I'm obsessed with working right now because I feel like I am I think that right now that's the safest place to be is at work. With social media and stuff, that's kind of outside at this point. So if you're showing online that you're busy and you're productive, it's kind of like what life is about and how you get paid. So I'm
Yeah.
kind of obsessed with that. And yeah, I like to calm me down. I like to shop online. I don't really shop. I kind of put it in the cart. um I go back to it when I can, but I love Balenciaga. I don't know what it is about Balenciaga that I can stare at their clothes all day. I just I don't know why.
Well, I don't know if you heard, but Balenciaga's in some hot water.
Really, what is
Yes. I don't know if you've been in the news, but they've had
no?
this whole campaign that has been very problematic because it was like exploiting children.
What?
Yes, read up on that. Read up on that.
I
It's so
will.
new.
I will. I'm so into them. I don't know what they had this fashion show where it was like this music. Did you guys see it? It was like doom, doom, doom. It was so intriguing to me. I just was like, I don't know. It's kind of like a days thing for me. It's kind of scary. Kind
I
of
mean, they
scary.
do push the envelope, and they, the collabs and people that we know in that
I think
industry.
that's what I like about them. I think that they're pushing the envelope. I think I like that as a whole in life with people, with things. I think
Hmm.
it's that that thing where you're not afraid to just jump out and do whatever you think is right. I think I'm obsessed with that. I'm obsessed with like that liberation of just doing whatever you want to do. And I make impulsive moves because of that type of stuff. Like I do weird things that might not be right, but I want to push that. I think I'm obsessed with being a leader.
Mm.
That's a good
Mhm.
one. Like, you don't care if
Mhm.
it hasn't been done. I'm gonna do it first,
Yeah,
even if I
I think I'm
mess it up.
obsessed with being a leader. Yeah, it's just because everybody is, Instagram says it, followers. It's like,
And that's why we talk a lot about disruption on the podcast because
Yep.
we, we're all disruptors in our own right. But like you make a choice. You make a choice to want to make sure that you're being your authentic self. You're being
right.
able to dream and create the life you want by design. And no one else can tell you whatever it is.
Yeah.
So we get that.
I did you guys ever do like a social media podcast? Because I would love to hear it. Tell me where it's at. I want to, because that's a big part of disruption is social media. Sometimes I'll have a plan and everything will be in place, and then I get on social media and I'll be like, oh no, I'm not doing this. Because I'm a black young woman. Maybe I'm supposed to be showing my clothes or my body. I get lost like that, and I'm like, but that's not my brand.
Everybody does though. Like that is the facade of social media. That
I
is
feel
what
like
that is.
the moment you start thinking like, how do people want me to show up? We got it wrong. Because it's
There you
not
go.
about what
Mhm.
the people
But
want.
it's
It's
so
like, what do
easy to
I?
fall into that thought. You know what I mean? Like,
Hmm.
wait, why did everybody not like my picture? Did this? But then you can't because you're
You
seeing the most
can't.
successful people doing whatever they want to do.
Yes.
The world is respecting people and their individuality and how they want to be. And then you have those people that think that following those people is the answer, but no, that person was themselves. For example, like a Cardi B. She was herself. She got online and no shade, like she's not the best rapper ever. And I feel like there's a lot of other talents that should have been on that platform, but she had that thing that was different. That was not. It was fearless. It was like whatever.
Yes.
I'm saying whatever I want, and still, and sometimes we don't respect it. Like she tweeted something to the girl yesterday, your mom is gonna die or something, and it's
Oh
not.
my God,
That's not
Cardi is
cool.
reckless.
But they I don't think they're respecting that as reckless, but they respecting that she's doing what she wants to do.
No,
Yeah,
yeah, she's
she is
always
who
stood
she
true.
is.
She
Yeah,
is who
Mhm.
like
she is. Nobody's gonna stop that change. And not a bag, not nothing. Either you roll with
Right,
me as I am, or
right.
this partnership or connection won't follow through.
And I think that
mhm.
that's hard for people. It's hard
Hmm.
for people
a
nowadays,
hundred percent, a hundred
right?
percent.
Yeah,
Because if you're not okay with being judged, then that's the part of it that people really can't
right,
bite that bullet.
right. So that's I think I struggle with that a lot because I'm in between those generations. Whereas like following is not cool, but following is kind of cool. Now the kids, I call them the kids, the younger girls, they tell me like, Mo, you need to show when you go to this store or show me, and I'm like, nah, that's not what we do. You don't.
Right.
That's
You
not that's not your world. That's not how you operate,
No,
and that's
that's like you get
okay. That's
robbed.
okay.
Like, no.
okay? We grew up in a different time. Like,
Listen,
Yeah, so I'm like,
we hear you. Okay,
you
we
know,
struggle with our own socials.
so it's that thing where you get lost. Like, well, maybe I should be taking advice from them because they are doing well online, and it makes a difference. Now, I had to sell that to myself. Like, okay, this is not my space. It's a real thing. This is staying. Okay, this is a real thing. So
it's a fine line.
I need to
And a
adjust. And I think,
reminder that social media is a facade. Like
yeah,
everyone has a facade on social media. It doesn't matter who you are. Whether it's good
Hmm.
or bad, that's a different story, but everyone
right.
has something that they're trying to portray.
Yeah, it's so hard because you're like, okay, when do I start doing this? No, I'm never gonna be that person.
Right. Yeah.
Never.
There's some things that's just not for me. Yeah, y'all can have that.
Yeah, I just can't. I'm sorry. I'll just have my little few followers. I can't do it. I can't do
Hmm.
it. I
I
tried.
feel you.
Oh my goodness.
Oh
All
yeah.
right. So we are at the end, and we have a little game that we want to play with
Okay.
you. Delilah, do you want to kick us off?
Yes, now we're transitioning into something a little bit more fun, kick back. We call this one most recent favorites. So we just want to learn about all the most recent favorites that
Uh-huh.
you've been like loving these days. So the first thing is, what's your most recent self-care day consisting of?
My most recent self-care day.
Like,
Like
what is
what?
it consisting of? Like, what are you doing on your self-care days?
Oh my God, my lashes. I do
Your
my
lash?
lashes once a week. Oh my gosh. Let me tell you guys.
Yo, that's an addiction. Lashes is a
It
real
is an
addiction.
addiction.
Let me tell you, I'm a new mom. Well, he's just turned 2. So I used to have so much anxiety because I'm always used to moving around, closing my eyes for 2 hours. Now I'm like, thank God, I need to keep my lashes. Close my eyes for 2 hours. I get my lashes done like once a week, only because I think I pick at them when I get nervous. So she just lets me come once a week. She don't care. But yeah, that's one thing that I do a lot. I have to do my toes. My nails, I would be like whatever, but my toes, I gotta have done. I do them at the same time. But if I only had one option, it would be my toes. What else? Oh, nothing else really as far as beauty day.
Okay, that's a good one. That's so funny. All right, what's your most recent skincare product that you've purchased?
Um, Most recent skincare product. Oh my God, I tried this moisturizer called Skin Fix. It's in like a blue bottle from Sephora. Remember, I worked at Sephora for 5 years. But when I started wearing this moisturizer, I'll be waxing people and they'll be like, your skin is so nice. I'm like, this new
I've heard of that
moisturizer.
brand.
I
Have
love
you?
it.
It's
So
called Skin Fit. I want
Yeah,
it.
it's like Skin FX, right?
Mm,
yes, and it's
Mm-hmm.
okay.
blue and it's
Yes, it's really good.
yes. It's
I
like a
think I've
pump.
tried their cleanser. Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh. And then the girl in Sephora, she had like the little scanner. She was trying to tell me to buy something else, and we scanned it too. And the Skin Fix actually had less ingredients that was harmful to the skin than her brand. She was like, wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
Look at
Okay.
that.
Yeah.
All right. I'm gonna have to add that to my list.
Yeah,
Yes.
too so.
So good.
All right, going on to the next one. What's your most recent, like, what recent fragrance have you purchased?
I love Valentino. Love Valentino. I carry
Okay.
Valentino in my bag. The best thing ever. Yes, the best
Okay.
thing.
Is that like your signature scent,
Yeah, you know what?
Valentino?
I've always wanted to be one of those ladies that when you leave or when you're around someone, they're like, she always smells like this. But I'm so inconsistent. I have it in my
Yeah,
bag.
I'm the same way. I feel like I had certain ones in certain periods of my life, but I'm inconsistent because I love too many things.
Oh, listen, I love Dior, Miss Dior Cherie.
Yes.
I want to try this Baccarat. I'm not there yet.
Oh, everybody's talking about that. I
It's like
heard.
so good.
Mm-hmm.
I want to
I've,
try
I've
it.
I've been hearing about it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. For some reason, it gives me like old lady, but I don't know. That's just because of the way it looks.
Baccarat.
But and that shit is $400 a bottle.
I mean, well, the Baccarat
Oh,
Hotel is like
A
exclusive, so it gives
glance,
that
okay.
right?
vibe.
I'm gonna get
I
it.
wonder if it smells like the hotel. Like, you know how there's certain hotels that
Yeah, they
they
have
have
a
like a
scent.
signature scent,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
like baccarat in a bottle. We'll see. All right, Monique. What's a recent show you've been binging?
Oh, I love All Housewives.
Oh, really? I'm not really into the
I
Housewives
love right
stuff.
Me
now. I'm
neither.
binging the Housewives of Potomac. I love All Housewives. I love Housewives of Atlanta. I love everything Atlanta on TV. Honestly, I'm like I binge on Bravo. Period.
Okay.
I love Andy Cohen. I love everything about Bravo.
Yeah, my sister's a big Bravo fan.
Oh, I
I
love
love
Bravo.
Andy.
I love Andy. Yeah, for
He is a
sure.
mess. He's a mess.
Sure.
All
I feel
right,
like
your
he's
most.
doing us though. You know, for
Wait,
the
what
for
you was
the
gonna say?
housewives in our community and just black women. I feel like he's kind of with us. Like I don't know if it's because he's a gay man and it kind of relates to us as far
No,
as
for sure.
but he kind of puts us out there in a good way. Like I like it. He pays
Andy
it.
Yeah,
with the shits, okay?
He is definitely with it.
He's with it, okay?
I'm a fan. I
But
hope they
yeah,
let him host the New Year's ball drop again. I hope they
yes,
let him because they were trying to take him
I,
out.
yes.
All right. Going on to the next one. What's your most recent food or snack you've had at a restaurant? Like that's your thing
Um,
right now.
what's my thing right now? Oh, I can't even think of nothing I've been eating that's been good enough to even talk about. I don't have an appetite. I love essential water.
You haven't gone out to a restaurant lately?
I don't know what's in
Essentials.
essential water. Yeah, I can't stop drinking it. I try to drink Poland Spring because they say that some things in here that's not good for you, and I just can't stop drinking it. My
I'm
baby
an
loves it.
Essentia fan too, and I know
I
about
mean,
the
I
bad
feel
things,
like
but
a lot of people, yeah, like it's not that bad.
supposedly, whatever. Everything kills you, so whatever. Live your
Everything
Everything
life.
does
I'm
kill
doing
you.
everything, so it doesn't even matter.
It's true.
All right. Your most recent compliment you've given or received.
Um, darn, that's hard. That sucks. You see.
That means you need to give out more compliments. I'm dead.
You know what? I told my last girl, I said, you know what? You're one of my favorite people in life. not because you'll answer my text and just take me at any time, but I just felt like she should know.
Yeah,
That
she
Like,
you're
needed that compliment. I hear you.
you,
I
she,
hear you.
she must have needed that. I'm big on energy, so she must have needed that. I could text her and be like, "Can you please put me in tomorrow?" She'd be like, "Okay." Like,
I
damn.
love it. I
And
love
it'll
Like
it
be
shout
too.
out
rude.
to
It's
the
like,
Lash girls, okay? Because my girl Kathy, me and her have the
listen,
same relationship, so I get it.
uh-huh.
I love that. Well, this was a fabulous time chatting with you, getting to know you. I learned so much more
Me too.
about just everything that you're doing for the community. So we introduced you, me specifically, in the beginning. So I want you to introduce yourself.
Okay, I'm Monique Bivens. I own Brazilian Babes. I love to wax. I'm like your wax expert. It's like the best thing for me. So you're gonna get a good service here, and come to Brazilian Babes.
And where can they follow you, or Brazilian babes rather?
I am Brazilian Babes on Instagram. It's at I am Brazilian Babes. That's my personal professional page that I started last year. And Brazilian Babes is at Brazilian Babes underscore. However, I am Brazilian Babes. I'm trying to tap into this professional personal thing. So follow me at I am Brazilian Babes.
Yes, we love that. Thank you
Amazing.
again for spending time and chatting with us. It was a pleasure having you.
You
So
thank you
awesome.
so much. Call me anytime.
Yes, for sure.
Okay.
Well, on that note, we are so out, everyone. Peace.
Have a good night.